kidnapping, false imprisonment, assault and battery, the attempted use of a fireplace poker as a deadly weapon. No, I'm not describing an episode of Criminal Minds. I'm talking about the insane iCarly special, iPsycho. This episode was so iconic that it was actually nominated for Favorite Family TV Movie at the 2011 People's Choice Awards. Kind of weird because it's not a movie. It's just a 47-minute episode of a TV show. But regardless, it lost to Camp Rock 2: The Final Jam, which is in fact an actual movie. So I guess that's fair. And honestly, even as a kid, I remember being shaken to my core by the crazy, illegal events that took place in this episode. And on top of all the fake crime that happens in this episode, there was even some real crimes going on behind the scenes. The actress who plays Nora, who was actually 16 at the time of filming this, ended up meeting the actor who plays Lubert on set. And at that time, Lubert was fucking 32 years old. And of course, the actor who plays Lubert goes on to groom her, and they eventually get married despite the 16-year age gap. And since this episode premiered all the way back in 2010, I figured it was probably time to take a look back and see if it's still just as unsettling today. This is one of the most requested iCarly episodes by you guys, so I'm very excited to be doing this one. And as always, if you like this video, please be sure to throw us a like and maybe even subscribe. I might just jump out of my pants if you do. And as always, if you have any other episodes or shows you'd like me to cover, let me know down in the comments. All right, let's dive in. The episode starts off with Spencer battling a fly, and when he calls out to Carly to ask where she moved the fly swatter, she responds that she got rid of it because killing flies is mean. And honestly, this shows us that Carly has a bleeding heart. She's a caring person and she takes pity on poor, disgusting little creatures, which will be important to the plot of this episode. So, Spencer uses an umbrella as his weapon of choice to kill the fly. When it lands on the countertop, he takes a swing and chips off a piece of the countertop in the process. Carly and Sam show up to see what all the ruckus is about, and Freddy waltzes in the front door of the apartment. Do they not lock their door? Seattle has a pretty high home burglary rate compared to the national average, so they should really consider locking the door. Freddy starts showing off some pictures of himself that he's planning to bring to Webicon to autograph for fans, and the girls naturally laugh in his face. Hell, even Spencer joins in and starts clowning on Freddy. But to be fair, what did bro really expect? He really thought that they'd be impressed by this pose?
What's in the box?
Oh, just some photos.
Donuts?
No. Me.
Sam has finally had enough and sticks her tongue in Freddy's ear, assault, and suddenly the fly reappears right on Spencer's face.
Got him.
You didn't get him.
Oh no, well then look at the, oh.
Spencer turned into the Karate Kid there for a second, and honestly, I really thought he was gonna slap himself in the face to kill the fly. Pretty good fake out. The kids are chilling in the iCarly studio reading through emails when Freddy starts acting like an actual freak.
Shampoo, mouthwash,
Yeah, add that to the list.
What?
Reasons why you don't have a lot of friends.
The girls do not laugh at Freddy's joke. They are completely unimpressed, just like how they reacted to his photos. In fact, his friends don't seem to like him at all in any capacity. Carly sees a video message from one of their fans, a girl named Nora Dershlit, and they all gather around to watch it. And something I noticed is after Nora says her name, Carly laughs at her last name being Dershlit, but she's not talking over the video.
My name is Nora Dershlit.
Dershlit.
It's as if Nora pauses and just breathes into the camera to give the iCarly crew time to make fun of her. The same thing happens when she says she is the biggest fan of iCarly ever, and Sam teases, "Looks like we found a girlfriend for Freddy," but it's just silent while Sam says that, even though they aren't pausing the video.
iCarly is my life.
I see a girlfriend for Freddy.
And to prove my point, here's 15 seconds of uncut footage showing exactly what Nora's video would have looked like if the camera never cut away.
iCarly is my life.
I see a girlfriend for Freddie.
My name is Nora Dershlit.
Dershlit. That's not funny.
Whatever. Nora invites them all to her 16th birthday party, which happens to be only 15 minutes away from WebaCon. She then guilt trips all of them by saying no one showed up to her birthday parties last year and a year before. Sam tells Carly to just delete that nonsense.
I don't want to go to Nora Dershlet's lame birthday party. That girl has a sad life. So does Freddie. We can't fix the world.
And Sam is right. She's the only one with any street smarts out of any of these people. Come on, guys. Stranger danger. Going to an internet random's house is crazy. But once Nora mentions that there will be a chocolate fountain at the party, Sam, sadly, jumps on board.
And a big chocolate fountain.
I say we go.
Cut to Spencer attempting to fix the countertop he broke earlier.
Aren't there professionals that fix countertops?
Excuse me, I am a sculptor. I think I can fix a little broken countertop. Ow! Owie!
What? Bro didn't use any sharp objects or tools. He was using glue. How did he hurt himself? Freddy shows up and goes over the itinerary with Carly for WebaCon.
Okay, the train gets into Olympia at 7:07. We take a cab to Nora's house, arriving there by 7:26, party till 7:45, then cab it back to the hotel, getting there by 8:05. Then we check
When
into
do we
our-
go to the bathroom?
Arriving at Nora's birthday party at 7:26 and only staying till 7:45 is a total of 19 minutes. Does that even count as showing face? I mean, that's crazy. They really want credit for doing this good deed while doing the absolute bare minimum. Carly and Freddie head down to the lobby to leave with Sam, and right after they leave, Gibby knocks at the door. He says he's there to return their sleeping bag because he won't be needing it anymore.
Just wanted to return this sleeping bag. I don't need it anymore.
Why did that trigger the laugh track? What's funny about not needing a sleeping bag anymore? He tells Spencer he just found out he's considered too old to go to camp now that he's 15.
Well, I know how you feel. I remember when they said I wasn't allowed to go to camp anymore.
Because you were too old?
No.
I need to know what Spencer did to get banned from camp. What's the backstory here? So Spencer asks Gibby what he's gonna do instead of camp.
So if you can't go to camp, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Sit home, take a bath, watch reruns of Different Strokes.
Hey.
Again, with the audience reaction? Why are they so emotional about Gibby saying he's gonna go watch reruns of a sitcom? Do they just react to anything Gibby says at all? Spencer tries to cheer him up and invites him to come to Camp Spencer for the next few days, and Gibby says, hell fucking yeah! Cut to an atrocious looking CGI train. Why? Was it too hard to get some footage of a random train at night? And then, the iCarly gang arrives at Nora's house. Nora starts acting like a sus creep right away, and Sam again is the only one who seems to pick up on the behavior and to be icked by it. Carly asks, so where is everyone else? Where do you think, Carly? Did you not hear on the video invite that no one showed up to her last party? Kind of a rude question. No one else is at the party besides Cramps, the 87-year-old clown. Nora throws on a fucking 8-track tape, which hasn't really been relevant since the 80s, and she grabs Freddy's shoulders and forces him to slow dance with her. And Cramps the clown forces Carly to dance with him against her will.
No.
Dance me.
She gives a verbal no, but Cramps still forces himself on her until she finally starts to slow dance with him. Meanwhile, Gibby is all excited to start fake camping with Spencer, but Spencer is still trying to repair the corner of the countertop. Gibby decides to be a good sport and says they can finish fixing the counter first and start camp after it's done. Back at Nora's house, Cramps the clown is taken away by paramedics because he had an off-screen aneurysm and died on the spot while Sam was dancing with him.
I'm really sorry your clown had an aneurysm.
I'm sorry he had an aneurysm while I was dancing with him.
Not iCarly having a kill count.
Possible dead clown at 4286 Longleaf Drive.
And fun fact, the address the paramedic just said, 4286 Longleaf Drive, is the same address that one of the criminal money printers, Bryce Granger, lives. From Drake and Josh, Go Hollywood. And that is a wild reference. Nora starts sobbing into the fireplace and... I'm not happy. No young girl is safe on a Dan Schneider show. Even the weirdo character with no friends still has to wear an uncomfortably short dress while bending over like that. Please make it stop. Sam is ready to bounce and head back to the hotel already, and correctly points out that they were supposed to only be here for 20 minutes. And I also have to point out that she completely ignores the chocolate fountain behind her, which was supposedly the only reason she agreed to come.
And a big chocolate fountain.
I say we go.
Carly and Freddie, being the goody two-shoes they are, don't want to leave her all alone while she's crying uncontrollably. They decide to do an impromptu episode of iCarly live from Nora's house to get people to show up at her party. Nora gets so excited that she throws up in the fireplace because Dirty Dan just wanted another shot of her bending over in that dress. Back at the apartment, Gibby is starting to get pissed that Spencer is taking so long to fix the countertop and that they haven't started any camp activities yet. Spencer claims he finally fixed it, but of course, the corner of the counter breaks off again. Classic. And honestly, they missed an opportunity to have the countertop corner catch on fire when Spencer failed to fix it. Back at Nora's, the gang starts broadcasting an episode of iCarly and tells anyone who was invited by Nora to come on over to the party. Meanwhile, Spencer is undrilling the countertop to lay it on its side so he can reattach the corner that way. He asks for Gibby's help to lift the countertop, and it snaps clean in half as soon as they try to lift it. At Nora's house, the plan actually works and kids start showing up to the party. Also, quick side note, this chicken actually drank some of the root beer. Bro was out there living his best life. Cockle-doodle-doo! One of the people who shows up to the party is actually Trina from Victorious, playing a different character, of course. She's clearly meant to be a cool, popular girl here, and honestly, I feel validated by this, because I always thought it was kind of bullshit how on Victorious they try so hard to portray her as this weird, gross, unattractive girl, when clearly she's a 10. Back at the apartment, Spencer and Gibby carry in a new granite countertop to replace the one they ripped in half.
Perfect.
That's a nice piece.
Thanks. Now all I gotta do is take this drill.
Gibby then bursts into tears, and the laugh track goes off. What? So when he says he's gonna go watch reruns of an old sitcom, the live audience goes, "Aww," but when he starts to cry, they laugh? Okay. But on the bright side, Nora's party is absolutely bumping. The party is so lit, in fact, that Nora straight up sexually assaults Trina. She forcefully kisses her against her will without consent, and there should be some repercussions for that. Also, Carly, Sam, and Freddie are just standing around vibing. Why are they even still here? They were supposed to stay for only 20 minutes, which it's already been way longer, and they've already accomplished their goal. They wanted to brighten this sad girl's day by meeting her because she's such a big fan, and hopefully get some of the kids from her school to show up at the party. Mission accomplished to both of those. The end. Freaking leave. But back at the apartment, Spencer and Gibby are trying to move the granite countertop for some reason, and they end up slamming it into the support column of the apartment. It ends up cracking the ceiling, and soon the apartment will become uninhabitable at this rate. Everyone starts leaving Nora's party after having a great time, and Trina even invites Nora to get mani-pedis with all the girls next weekend before leaving. Carly, Sam, and Freddie are literally the last ones there. For no reason. They finally tell Nora they're leaving, and she takes them downstairs to the basement to get their luggage. While down there, they notice a recording studio.
Why do you have this?
Oh, my dad's in the jingle business.
Nora said this is the recording studio her dad uses for work. Why does it have a lock on the outside of the door? That's straight up a fire hazard, and in no way is it necessary for the work of a sound engineer. So yeah, Nora leaves them locked up inside the recording booth and also reveals that she took all their phones somehow? She says she can't let them leave because this is the first time she's ever been cool before, and she can't go back to having no friends. Except Trina literally fucking invited Nora to go get mani-pedis next weekend without the iCarly crew having to be there.
Hey, next weekend a bunch of us girls are gonna get mani-pedis. You wanna come? Oh, yes.
So that doesn't really make a lick of goddamn sense. Sam tries to bust down the glass and says that she feels like she's back in juvie, but that glass is like me the one time I got interrogated by the cops. It ain't cracking. I also have to point out that Carly seems very calm, even though we know from the I Space Out episode that she's claustrophobic and freaks out in tight spaces. The next scene starts with Nora coming down the stairs and saying good morning to the iCarly gang. So they spent all night locked in there? Do none of them have to pee or take a shit? Like, I'm sorry to bring it up, but that's just the reality. In fact, when Freddy first goes over the Webicon itinerary with Carly at the beginning of the episode, she asks when they're gonna pee.
And cab it back to the hotel, getting there by 8:05. Then we check
When
into
do we go to the bathroom?
But apparently, now peeing isn't an issue. Carly tells Nora that people are going to notice they're missing, but Nora has that all figured out already.
When our families don't hear from us, they're gonna call the cops.
Yeah, the cops!
Which is why I used your cell phones to text message your families and tell them everything's going just fine.
Look, you're telling me that Carly, Sam, and Freddy all leave their phones unlocked without a password? I've actually never met one single person who has an iPhone with no password lock on it. It's ridiculous. Back at the apartment, Spencer wakes Gibby up in the morning for camp.
Gibby! Hey, Gibby, wake up!
He starts to read off the schedule he put together for him, but Gibby notices that Spencer snuck in rewire the light fixture to the daily activities list, and he's not impressed. Spencer cuts a wire that causes the overhead lamp to then crash down, and Gibby just goes back into his garbage tent. Back in Nora's basement, the crew asks for food, and Nora says she'll only give them food if Freddy kisses her through the glass. Freddy doesn't want to do it, so Sam grabs his head and forces him. I'm not sure whether this counts as sexual assault, but it's gotta be traumatizing nonetheless. Back at the apartment, Gibby's mom drops off his little brother, Guppy, and this episode just went up a whole level. This is Guppy's first real appearance on iCarly, and I love that he gets such a big episode as his introduction. He's gotta be one of the cutest little kids I've ever seen. Gibby's mom runs off without saying hi to Spencer, which is a funny callback to a previous episode when they briefly dated.
Now what's wrong?
Gibby lit.
Gibby runs off to use the loo, and Spencer returns thinking that Gibby has been shrunk.
What did they do to you?
Back in Nora's basement, the crew is eating Chinese food when Carly gets an idea. She asks Nora for some sauce, and when she reaches in to give it to her, Carly grabs Nora's arm and starts slamming her against the wall. And straight up, that seems like an idea that Sam would have tried, but okay, Carly, I see you. Nora runs back upstairs to get some cool stuff to show them all, and as soon as she leaves, Sam uses a duck bone she chewed on to pick the door's lock. It works, and they make a break for the stairs, when Nora appears in a Richard Nixon mask with a fake hatchet, so they all run back screaming into the sound booth? What the hell, guys? Split up and run in different directions, maybe? Fucking shove Nora down the stairs and break her neck? Stab her with the sharpened duck bone that Sam just had? I don't know. Anything except run back back into the prison cell. So they all get locked up again, and the last 1 minute of screen time was entirely pointless. So Carly comes up with another idea and lies to Nora about it being Gibby's birthday so they can send him a birthday video with a secret code hidden inside of it. Back at the apartment, Gibby finds a note from Spencer saying that he went out to get some DIY supplies. So Gibby decides to check his emails. When he sees the happy birthday V-mail from Carly, Sam, and Freddie, he instantly knows something is up since it's not his birthday. And I really vividly remember the beginning of the birthday V-mail.
We're always together every 4th of July.
Every 4th.
Word.
Every 4th.
Word.
That video message was something I truly never forgot ever since first seeing it. Gibby pretty much instantly realizes that he needs to specifically listen to every 4th word in the video, and props to Guppy for also helping him crack the case. They are an iconic duo. Gibby edits the video message to play only the 4th word.
The
Crazy. Girl. Trapped. Us. Please. Save. Us.
And honestly, Gibby could have just simply written down every 4th word. He didn't have to edit the actual video clips. So Gibby and Guppy catch a train to Olympia, and this time we see some real footage of a train going to Olympia instead of that CGI-looking train bullshit from before. So that means they did have B-roll footage of a real train, so maybe the shitty CGI train wasn't CGI? Or maybe it was just unnecessary. And to be honest, I don't know how Gibby got this girl's address, or even how he knows who Nora is. He wasn't there when the iCarly crew watched the initial V-mail from Nora, so he shouldn't know who she is or where she lives. When Gibby and Guppy roll up to Nora's house, Gibby rings the doorbell and politely asks Nora if Carly, Sam, and Freddie are trapped there.
I was wondering, do you have Carly, Sam, and Freddie trapped here?
No, there's no one in my basement.
I didn't say anything about your basement.
So Gibby realizes it's confirmed his friends are trapped there, and he gets to fucking business and takes charge of the situation. Gibby and Nora start beating the shit out of each other, and this is hands down the best scene of the entire episode. I love that it constantly switches between the two actors and two fully grown stunt doubles the entire battle. And I love that Guppy just stands there for moral support, saying, "Happy birthday!"
Happy birthday!
And look at this. I mean, Nora straight up attempted murder right here. She is racking up felonies in this episode, from sexual assault to kidnapping to false imprisonment, and now finally, attempted murder? They tussle for a while, and it's actually a pretty long, extended scene of them fighting. Eventually, they take the battle down to the basement, and Gibby starts low-key losing the fight. You hate to see it. And he even starts bleeding. But before things can take an even bloodier turn, Gibby rips his shirt off and goes full beast mode. He slams Nora against the wall and they start rolling around on the floor. And while they're busy throwing down, at last our hero of the episode, Guppy, comes down the stairs. He gets Nora's keys and frees the iCarly crew. They all rush over to help Gibby, and Sam does the fake elbow squeeze pass out move that Quinn does all the time on Zoe 101.
Oh, getting sleepy. Feeling.
Which successfully knocks Nora out cold on the floor. They all hug and celebrate for about 1.5 seconds, and then we get an abrupt cut back to the apartment with the entire crew roasting weenies on an open fire. Yeah, an open fire. Indoors. On a wooden floor. Spencer is trying to smoke everyone out and single-handedly burn down the entire apartment complex. Also, Freddie's shirt says foot candy. I'm upset by it, but coming from Dan Schneider, I guess that catchphrase would make sense because bro definitely sucks on some toes like they're lollipops. Spencer tells Carly he decided to pay someone to fix all of the expensive damage he caused in their apartment, and Carly says she feels bad for calling the cops on Nora. Carly, what? I'm actually a little mad we didn't get to see Nora get arrested on screen. She obviously deserves to be in jail or at least a mental hospital, and for Carly to feel bad about that is crazy. Gibby recommends they all sing a campfire song.
100 cartons of milk on the wall, 100 cartons of milk.
The exact one that Nora was singing earlier.
99 cartons of milk on the wall, 99 cartons of milk.
And rather than reacting with PTSD from their recent trauma, the kidnapping survivors happily sing along without a care in the world. So yeah, when the episode ends, Carly still feels unresolved regret about calling the cops on a 16-year-old girl who just wanted some friends. Ouch. So let's actually stop and think about the many crimes that were committed by Nora in this episode. Kissing Trina without consent, that's sexual assault. Trapping the iCarly gang in a recording studio is considered kidnapping and false imprisonment. Stealing all 3 of their cell phones is theft of personal property. Texting every one of the kids' family members pretending to be the kids, that's definitely identity theft. Withholding food from Freddy unless he performs an intimate act against his will is definitely sexual coercion. And finally, she grabbed the fire poker during the fight with Gibby, which escalated the fight from an assault to an attempted murder with a deadly weapon. And after all of that, we don't get to see Nora get arrested on screen? And she gets out of juvie in a later episode? Unacceptable. But honestly, before Nora committed all these atrocities, she just came across as a lonely girl with no friends. What exactly is the message here, Nickelodeon? Don't be nice to the weird kid? There's probably a good reason that everyone stays away from them? I'm not saying I necessarily disagree with that message, but it is an interesting message for a show aimed at children, to say the least. But hey, all criminal records aside, this episode was pretty funny, even all these years later. I had a great time rewatching it, and I'm excited to look at the sequel episode in the future, iPsycho. But for now, enough of me yapping. What do you guys think of iPsycho? Did it still make you laugh all these years later, or do you just find it disturbing? Let me know in the comments, and let's kick it. As always, I gotta give a massive, sensual shout out to the channel and Patreon members. My love for you all has reached such depths that it's actually got my therapist mildly concerned. In my last video, I asked you guys a trivia question. In what episode of Drake and Josh does Eric appear, but not Craig? And while a few of you made some good guesses, unfortunately, none of the channel or Patreon members got it right this time. Carmen Mitchell, 4061. You were the fastest one to get it correct. You had the fastest fingers. I want to know what else you could do with those fingers. I literally can't put into words how much I appreciate you guys. It's still surreal that you guys are all here, all of you, every one of you. And if you're still here, why not check out some other videos and maybe consider subscribing? And if you're out at the park this week, watch out for a dog that gets off its leash. That thing's about to be rabid. All right, thanks for listening.